Sick.
That shit always makes me laugh.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Que Padre, a fatherhood podcast. A podcast where we talk about Latino fatherhood, mental health, fatherhood in general, relationships, and everything in between. Uh, I am Froilan Morales, and we got my buddy here, my partner in crime, Chris. Thank you for joining us. Chris,
Yes,
you got a
sir.
topic for us today. You got a very interesting topic.
Well, first of all, I gotta excuse myself. I am under the weather, so if you guys can't hear me right, if I doze off, I'm on medicine or whatever. But I am sick.
If I doze off, pues ni
Yeah.
modo.
So, little topic that I had that I've been seeing in some social media sites is should we should we feel forced or should do we have the obligation to leave uh, any monetary earnings or whatever to our kids when we pass away? Meaning, does there have to be an inheritance? Does there have to be a will? Does there have to be, hey, I'm leaving you this house, I'm leaving you that house, whatever's in a bank account is yours, all that stuff? Or should we as parents enjoy our money that we worked hard and let our kids basically do what their life?
Hmm. Okay.
More or less. If you guys understand the question.
Yeah. So essentially, what you're saying is, as parents, are we obligated to leave uh, an inheritance per se, whether it's money or whatever,
Right.
um, to our children?
Correct. How do you feel
Either,
about it?
either yes or no.
Well, there's a yes and a no, and then there's a like, oh, well, I don't know, like, because obviously we don't know when that can come, right? That could be
Mm-hmm.
tonight, tomorrow, next week, next year, whatever.
Yeah.
In 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, right?
Simon. Um. Well, interesting topic because I feel that it is our responsibility as parents, as as fathers, to not only prepare our kids for the future, but to put them in the best position possible to be successful. Um, you know, Vero and I, we are proactively saving for our kids, to be able to assist them with college expenses that we're expecting, assuming that they do go to college, right? Or whatever they want to do when they grow up. Uh, so obviously, just straight up to answer your question, yes, I think it is our obligation because we are supposed to kind of not make things easier for our kids, but at least give them an opportunity uh, to be successful without having money or you know any sort of challenge that be an obstacle if possible.
Okay.
I mean, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Uh, no, I don't see it as an obligation at all.
Okay.
At all. More than my obligation would be, I think, is to educate our kids to be ready for that time. Not only for them, but not only for us, but for them themselves, right? Um, I don't expect them to pay, obviously, for burial, funeral expenses, and all that. Hopefully, by then, those costs would already be taken care of. But I think more than anything, it's us getting ready for those times and making sure that they're educated Obviously, if that time is available, or they're already a little older,
Yeah.
where it's not such a much of a burden. Because I don't want to make it easy. There's this quote, dude, that I see a lot. I read a lot. I forgot how it goes, but it says something about simple times make men
I got you.
hard or
It
something
says
like that.
hard times make tough men.
Right,
Simple and then easy times make soft men essentially.
right,
You know.
right. So I see it in this position, and I know generations are different, and everything is supposed to get better. But I think that's where our a lot of even people our age, a lot of kids, people our age, maybe a little younger, they start losing the value of life, the value of the dollar, the hard work it takes to earn that status, that money, or where you are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us do give our kids everything they want when they want it, and it's not necessarily earned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so how do we make that better? I think in that situation is educating them, making sure they get a head start, but not necessarily handing it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Getting their bank account in order at a young age, possibly helping them out with their credit. I think that is one easy thing that we should help out is in their credit, but not necessarily. Here, son, there's $100,000 that your mother and I saved up, and so you can help out your life.
Yeah.
I think more instead of renting more of a trust with you have to meet these criterias in order to get that money. You know.
Yeah. Um. So but I guess this is where I would pull you back, right? And I'm gonna be devil's advocate,
Mhm.
and let's just obviously, you know, uh, let's just go against each other for a bit, right? So why do you do the things that you do every day?
Hold
Why do
on,
you
bro.
work hard?
Somebody's asking the questions about bringing the topic up. Need thoughts on topic.
What do they say?
Yo, can I bring the topic up? Yeah, for sure. What's your topic, Salcedo? And I hold that thought, right?
Holding the thought. We
Yeah,
have
hold it. Write it down. Pin
we
it on the
have
board.
uh, we have audience participation.
Yes, go Dodgers.
Damn, I don't see that message, Chris.
Hijack the pot, Steve. Okay, okay.
So what is it? What's the question?
I don't know. I'm asking for it. I'm
Oh,
waiting
all
for
right,
it.
all right. So those who are as we're waiting here for this question here for those listeners out there, remember you can watch this every last Tuesday of the month. We'll be live on Instagram Live. We have a feed there. We'll have this exact feed live on YouTube Live. So you can tune in there and chat and ask questions away. On Instagram Live, you can ask. We have it open. We'll see the chat. If you're watching on YouTube Live, you can actually chat, and we can chat real time if you wanted to ask questions as well. Plus, if you go on YouTube Live, it looks a lot prettier. We have this little background. It looks cute. People would like it. So check it out if you give a chance. If you get a chance to do so.
No,
Um,
not the other fish. You guys remember walking in or hearing your parents being intimate? Luckily, that never happened to me.
what's the comment, Chris? I don't know what it
Never.
was. What is it?
Says
What's the
you
comment?
guys remember walking in or hearing your parents being intimate.
Damn, you just
He
took it a
just went
different direction.
straight left, fucking busted a bitch, and
All right.
took
So
the five to.
so let's put the inheritance conversation on hold for a bit, I guess. Fuck,
That's
I
a
guess.
boring one.
Fuck our conversation, I guess, right? So did we ever
Oh
walk on our
shit!
parents being intimate? Go, Chris. You go.
It never happened to me, bro. It never happened to me. How traumatizing was it for you, and how would you address the situation with your child if it even happened? Fuck, why you gotta open that whore? That was what a clean shaven me. Um, nah, dude. I never heard it. I never saw it. The closest I saw in my parents being intimate was a kiss, you know, and hugs, and that's it. But uh, that was one thing that my parents were very careful with is their intimate life. Their intimate life was pretty private, bro. Like I said, it's not that they never said I love you or anything like that, or showed any affection to themselves, but they it was basically just the kisses in front of us, hugs and stuff like that, but nothing cachondo, none of that shit, at all. Never heard of them, never nothing, bro, ever. And put this in mind, bro. Growing up in LA from a baby to maybe like 10 or 11, we lived in a one bedroom house. It was little,
Maybe there was no
so
action, bro,
I had no idea.
until you guys
I
went to
had no
school.
idea. Maybe, but like I said, they were very cautious about it. I've never heard it. I don't know about my sister; she's older, so I have no idea. But I never heard it, and I'm very glad and happy and thankful for being that private about it.
Yeah. First of
Now hold on.
right, go. You got a thought.
I can't speak the same for my son. Okay. I don't know if he heard anything. I don't know if he saw anything. But there was plenty of times when he was asleep, yeah, as a toddler. So, but that's as that's as close as we get.
Well, I mean,
I
if you
don't
never
know.
ask questions, then I don't know.
Yeah, no, my kids never walked in on, at least not on me. I don't know about Freud.
Nah. So, as a kid, and first of all, let me say thank you, Steve, for bringing a topic. I appreciate your effort here. You do have a full month to bring these to our attention before we start these conversations, so
So
that
that
we can
we get
decide to
prepared,
talk
right?
on prepare, right? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you for participating, like you always do. But for myself, I never heard anything. I never saw anything, thankfully. Um, but I did accidentally stumble upon some blue power pills in my dad's drawer. And so which, I was like, oh. So now like I didn't have to walk in, but now I know that they're getting it on, right? And so
But this was at
when
what age? At what age?
for hours, I mean, when did Viagra come out?
I don't know.
Oh, like I feel like it's like middle school, high school, kind of like in the 2000s ish,
Your
maybe.
dad was already how old then? Are
So
your parents older? Like, how old is your dad?
my dad is, let me see, is de 53. So he's like 70.
Oh, so he just turned 70 last year. This year.
He's going to turn
He's
70
gonna
this
turn
year.
70.
Yeah. So he was like 50.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he was like 50. He was, only 13 years older than me now. So, um, so I never walked in. I never saw it, but I did see the pills. Um,
So
I
there's proof.
think, yeah, there's proof there. I think though, and I think if they were to walk in, or they were to see something or hear something, um, then we'd have to find out what they heard or what they saw, and then based off what they heard or what they saw, then you kind of have to. I mean, it depends on the relationship you have with your kids, right? And I'll address what Steve just said, but like it depends on the relationship you have with your kid. Are you open with your kids? Have you talked to them about how old are they? Have you
Yeah, but
talked to
no,
them
you can't
about?
be too open with your 3 year old, bro.
Oh, I know. Like I said, there's different scenarios. How old is your kid? What have you talked about? and then that you kind of manage the situation. Like if my three and a
And
half year old walk
to be exactly how much did they see?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you ask what they see. You have to assess the situation, bro. You can't
You're
just
not
start.
metiendo el martillo automático, güey. You're
Yeah.
doing a power driver.
And so you have to first assess the situation, what was witnessed, and then
Uh,
go from there. I think it depends on how it just depends on how.
how old are your kids, bro?
Yeah.
Salcedo.
All right. So let's see. So Steve said, I remember walking in on my parents, and sorry, Steve, I didn't mean to put you on blast, but he said he walked in on his parents. It wasn't that traumatizing. It wasn't that traumatizing. I think my mom was more embarrassed than me. I can see that. Now I'm in a situation and my child says that they are traumatized. So they walked in on you guys. Oh man.
His kids are how old?
Oh. So they didn't walk in, they just heard. All right, so that's a conversation that you need to have with your partner. I will not name her. I will not do that to her.
Yeah. Hey,
Um
cuenta.
um and you guys got to figure something out. Just heard it. Yeah, so and if your kids heard it, well they know what's going on. So do you
It
have
also
or
depends
have you?
on what
So
age,
yeah. So well, his kids are
Because
a little
look, bro,
older.
this is one thing that it's a little weird for me. Um, and I don't know if it varies per school, per district, or obviously depending if you already had your talk with your kids and all that. But like my kid, bro, they haven't had that sexual education class or video or none of that shit,
Yeah.
and he's in seventh grade, bro.
Okay.
I remember we had it like in fifth, maybe fourth. It was in elementary sometime towards the end, but it wasn't no middle school for sure. So
Okay. So but I think, you see, but the thing is, I think is one of the thing is, like you were saying, is how much do they know about the topic, right? How old are they? Like, I think depending on how old they are and how informed or educated, um, then that's the type of conversation you're gonna have, right?
right,
So
absolutely
let's see,
correct.
let's see. The situation right here says, by the way, hey, wait, whoops. Okay. So yeah, I
You
mean,
can do it like that.
if
You can
that's the
do
hey,
it
but see, that's the
channel.
thing. So
That's a
so
song, bro. That's a
yeah,
song.
essentially, Steve, your kid is older, and you explained it with you know, bare naked ladies,
But then again, again, it all
nothing but
depends.
mammals.
You could go the religious route. You could go the. This is something that your parents, mommy and daddies, do to show love to each other. Blah blah blah. Or you could be a straight asshole and hey, well, this is how we made you. You know?
Yeah, and see, and I think and so my friend Katie here posted something with us, right? She says essentially she's agreeing with what I said earlier. It depends on the type of relationship you have with your kids, right? Like how are they raised? Like I want my kids to see that I love their mother, right? I try to give her as many hugs as I can, even though she's like, get off, she's not as touchy feely like me. Her love language is different, but I try
Oh, you're
to I
the
try to show.
softy one.
A mí me gusta tocarla, abrazarla, güey. I mean, I've always been like that,
You're the
and
pegajoso
so
one.
yeah, I'm super pegajoso. So, I more recently because Emmy's been very very affectionate lately, trying to give us hugs, and she says I love you all the time, and so sometimes
Yeah.
we're sitting there, I'll come in and give Vero a hug, or I'll come give her a kiss, and Emmy sees that, and then she comes in and she wants to get a hug, kiss. That's fine, but it's like at least introducing the fact that her parents love each other, right? And that we're affectionate. And when and if something were to happen where they see, hear, or do something, then I think the conversation would be a lot easier because then you can talk about love, right? You can talk about love and blah blah blah.
Right.
If that's how you want to go, right? But I think to be a little serious for a bit, right? It depends on how you communicate with your kids. Are you open with them? Can you talk to them about things, and they'll take you seriously and they listen to you, or do you maybe not have that open conversations with them, and maybe you don't talk so openly with them? So it just depends on the type of relationship you have with your kids, how you communicate with them. If they're receptive to what you say or not, then you go from there, I think.
Like to me, bro, it's a little weird and it's a little different when I see kids see their parents kiss and they're like, ew, ew. So I question. I'm always like, why is it ill for you? Your dad or your mom is showing love to their partner. I go, you guys should be happy and should like that. You know that your dad is showing affection to your mom or your mom is showing affection to your dad. You know, which it should be the same towards our kids. We should show affection towards our kids too. We should just show them that you know, as family members, we can hug each other. As family members, we can kiss each other in the cheek. Obviously, if you don't like it, then you just say something. But it's a simple show of a family affection where you can hug your sibling, you know, your parent or your mother, your father, grandfather, whatever, you know,
Yeah,
and feel that warmth of a hug that we all need at one time or another. You know?
yeah. So Steve has an interesting topic. So here's the other way. Here's the flip side, right? So he feels like he's open about everything with his child, but his kid feels more embarrassed to talk about it, which I get. The
It's
kids are
just the
gonna get
age.
to an
You know,
age.
there's certain things that we didn't like to hear our parents talk about
Yeah, it's
or
awkward.
see.
Yeah, it's awkward. Maybe
But at the same time,
hey,
bro, it's as open as you are with your kids to make it the norm with them. You know what I mean?
yeah. But I think look, I'll tell you this. Like the relationship I had with my mom growing up, dude, she wasn't taught. She's like she wanted to know. She dude every time, whenever she would want to know, did you have sex? Have you had sex? Do you have a condom? Like she would
Yeah, but
always
your mom
ask,
was
right?
open about it, bro.
Simone way. But that's what I'm saying.
Your
It
mom
was
used to
still it
chill
was
with us when we used to drink.
see. So it used to be like I used to be like ma, like, oh, you're asking me again. Like it was still like I don't want to tell you these things. Like, oh
But
my
you,
god.
but
But we had them. We
right,
had the conversations, yeah. But it
and they
was
were
still like, yeah, yeah. I don't want to talk about it. What? Why are you asking? Like, you're still gonna have you're still as a teen, right? As a kid, you're still gonna be like,
well
I don't want to talk about
now
that.
as an adult that you see it and you lived it. Would you want your daughters to tell you their love life like that? Would you want to know, or would you be comfortable knowing that your daughters want to share that with you?
If my kids wanted to share that stuff with me,
Sorry, your kids, right?
yeah. If my daughter, even if my daughter or my son, whatever, if they wanted to share that stuff with me and they felt comfortable enough to share it with me, then I'll listen, right? Because it's bound to happen. It's not like there's anything in the world that I can do to stop it, right? Like it's natural. They're gonna grow up. It's gonna happen. Like I'd rather them feel safe enough and comfortable enough to ask questions than to not want to talk to me about anything, and then we run into a situation with I don't know some sort of I don't know, like a disease or uh, or a pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy, like stuff like that. I'd rather them know tell me that they can about this stuff, right? I think that's one of the things that we don't really want to hear, but we are open to it, and we should be open to it.
You have to be open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It suddenly came up. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, with the jokes. With the jokes.
But I think that's the problem sometimes that we do because I have that issue too. I try to make it funny, and it's funny to us, but it's not funny to them. You know.
Yeah.
And then when I make it funny like that, my son gets upset.
Yeah.
You know, or sometimes when I talk to my nephew, uh, my brother's oldest son, you know, I tell him, you know, just playing around, bro. It's guy talk. Hey, bro, where the hoes at? And he's just like, deal.
Tío, tío,
Yeah.
lucha.
And he just
That's
says
tío.
deal. You know?
Tío.
So I'm like, all right, I'll shut up. You know, so
But no, I mean, look, I know that wasn't the topic for today,
nah,
and
bro,
it's
it's good. You're
okay.
good. We
It's
love it that
okay.
you brought it up
But
because
it's
it's
okay. It's
we
okay.
were running a little low on topics.
Yeah, I think eventually we're gonna get to the point where we might be recycling a bit of the topics that we used on our Instagram lives and pop them into the podcast because we hit some pretty good ones. I think during especially during COVID, we did some pretty good ones. So we might have to repeat a couple and have a more in-depth conversation
Well,
a
let's
couple years
ask
later.
Salcedo. Like, so it was not embarrassing for you to walk in on your parents, and more embarrassing for your mom. How did your parents deal with it with you?
Yeah, what they say.
You know, since it's obviously a different generation.
Yeah, yeah. How would you deal with it, Chris? While we're waiting for Steve.
If they would have walked in on us,
Yeah, or if you know,
well,
or
first
if
of all, bro,
if you're over here doing the
first of all,
horizontal mambo and
first of
Adrian
all,
says, "What are you doing to mommy?"
no, first of all, I think um, I've learned through the years to be prepared and always lock that door, regardless.
Hmm?
That's just they didn't say shit. Mom would have looked at me for days. And have you brought it up later on? Now that you're older and you're a father, have you brought it up with them? I doubt my dad cared. It's
So
like these
Steve,
comedians. Have you heard these comedians in
your mom
Spanish?
didn't look at you for days, Steve. Your mom didn't look at you for days. Uh, but what about you? I mean, you had
Were you a jokester then, like you are now, and said, "Hey, mom, pues, you know, los
mom, bájale,
asusté"? Boo.
bájale.
Volumen, you know? That's
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's
I've
nuts,
thought
man.
about that. I've thought about that before, and I'm like, man, I never, bro. Not even, not that. And I'm the type that I remember shit, bro. And
Yeah.
I never heard anything, not even suspicious, bro. Not even suspicious.
I think I think the way that it's gonna have to go down is and it's different for everybody, right? You just have to do it when they're not there. That's the easiest way.
Now I've almost been caught by my parents.
Oh yeah. That's funny.
That's a for sure.
What happened? How are you gonna
Oh,
bring it up
nothing.
in this?
I didn't care. I didn't care about it. It was more like they told me. Well, they didn't tell me. My dad was like, "I don't want you doing that here. I need you to respect the house." He was very. The less my mom saw and the less she heard about stuff like that, the better for him.
Yeah.
You know, he was always very careful that my mom wouldn't see any more shit or. But my mom wasn't stupid, bro. My mom found our magazines. You know, she would tell my brother, "Hey, ¿por qué están esos calcetines pegajosos?" Oh my
I don't
god.
know. Oh.
I was old enough to know what's up. Oh shit.
That's hilarious, man.
Damn, fuck.
Hey, so I'm saying, hey, well, look, Chris, you are on the cusp of reaching this época con tu hijo, eh.
Yeah, but
You're
I don't
you're
know my
like
kids, so I'm not gonna see it.
you're like
They're not gonna
there.
do that.
You're like there.
They're not gonna see it, bro. Unless they see it on the other side, but that's different.
Yeah.
I can't control that side.
No, you can't. But he might have these conversations with you. He might want
Oh
to
yeah,
talk to you about
definitely.
things,
And
right?
I'm wondering now why I haven't had them. They haven't popped up. I always ask him, bro. Like, what do you know about certain things? And he seems clueless at the moment, you know.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that it's the right time so that he's aware of. I don't want to go too deep, too quick, where where that's all he's thinking about now. You know,
Yeah. Well, it's like como dicen, no le quieres abrir los ojos muy pronto,
not yet, not yet.
right?
I know it's
Yeah.
coming. I know it's
Yeah.
coming, and trust me, I've been asking. I've asked his mother. I've asked people. I've asked the school. Hey, when are you guys gonna introduce this? Not that I want him to know, but I need to know so that when these questions come up, I can be prepared and not start it with a joke or end it with a joke, and then just so it could be serious.
Yeah.
It's always going deep quickly is good, bro. So yeah, I mean, it's trust me, he's about to be 13, bro. And I know at 13, I know back then there was, according to them, there was already people already doing it. That I knew of.
What?
Yeah, bro. Come on, you don't know any seventh and eighth graders that are already doing it.
I don't remember.
According to them, you know,
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't. I don't remember.
I already knew eighth graders already pregnant, bro.
No me acuerdo, güey.
So right now, I just want him to. Right now, he's really into basketball, so I want his whole mind to stay in basketball. He's just gotta. He just gotta. I don't know what the word is, but he. They offered him to go into the honors program for next year, so
Okay.
I don't want his concentration to get out of that. You know, because once you start introducing girls to kids, you know what happens with that.
Yep. I know. I've
No,
lived
I
it.
know you know. I know. I've helped you live it.
Yeah. 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 That's crazy.
So that's why. I want him take it easy, discover it on himself. Get those things on his own, and then little by little start getting those questions
Of
answered,
course.
and go by that.
Of course. Big time.
I want to make sure that I answer the questions as
That
correctly
may
as
come up.
possible. As correctly as possible.
All right. All right. So let me bring it back now because I always like to view back from the tangents that we take. Steve, since you're out there in the conversations, um, do you think you, as a father, it's your obligation to leave an inheritance for your kids? Why or why
Yeah,
not?
going back to our original topic, Steve.
Steve, before you brought up this very delicate subject, all right. So it's funny. So while we're waiting for Steve to come up with an answer, because I know he wasn't prepared for that, he had other things on his mind. Uh, uh, I actually saw a post. Not a post. I saw a post of a video of Shaq, and they were talking about, oh, Shaq. So no, you got all this money. Like, are you giving your kids all this money, and or
Oh yeah, two
yeah,
degrees to get to my cheese.
yeah. So he told the kids, he told his kids, I'm rich. You're not rich. I'm rich. You got to go out and get your money, right? You got to go out and work hard. You got to go out and earn access to this, right? And just like you said, two degrees to get access to the cheese. Um, uh, yeah. So I think there's it's a I don't want to say it's a fine line,
That's the
but
look.
it's
Look what he answered. Look what he
it's
answered.
it's
I
a
think
different
that I
it's a
think that's a
different way
good
of
answer.
thinking. Here, all
It's
right.
a
So
good
let's see what
answer.
Steve says. So Steve says, "Hell nah." On a serious note, I think it's my job not to leave debt behind when I leave.
I think
That's
that's the best answer right there.
Well, it's a answer. It's
I
not the
like
only
that. No,
answer.
I like that as the answer.
But see, that's how you feel.
I like that. Yeah, but you're asking me, so I'm
Doesn't
giving you
Yeah?
my
That's what I'm
answer.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's an
You
answer.
can't say that my
It's
answer is
not the
wrong.
only answer. It's not wrong and
My
it's not
only
right. It's
answer.
not the only answer.
I
So
think that
you know,
that's a good one.
you know, I think it's a great way to think. Of course, you don't want to be a burden to your kids, of course, and I'm never gonna argue
And
that,
the only
right?
reason I tell you that, bro, Freud, is because we're my siblings and I lived it within this past year, right? And it's not that my parents didn't leave anything; it's just that they didn't prepare, right? Unfortunately, we don't start getting prepared as a Latino community. Sometimes we don't start getting prepared until we see it too close. We right or we see an example and we're just
Yep.
like, oh shit, this can really happen. Let's start. You know, um, how I wish that my dad would have taught me about credit when I was X age.
Younger, yeah.
I wish I would have taught, known about this, and this. It wasn't meant to be, whatever. So I think that's what I meant by educating our kids to, by the time they're a certain age, they could have already accomplished what we accomplished and more,
Yeah.
right? So that there's no worry about I have to leave this for them or I want to leave this for that and this and that.
Yeah.
Again, we're gonna create because it's an easy time. We're gonna create it. Yeah, what is it? Easy times create soft men,
Yeah. Hard times
right?
create tough men, and easy times
Right.
create soft men.
And I think we're as a generation, as a culture, everything, we are not creating very tough men, bro. We are not. We are not creating tough people. Period.
Okay. I'm gonna get.
So
Okay.
how do we teach our kids to learn how to earn that dollar, how to earn that hard work? And again, hard work doesn't mean you have to be sweating, you know, the whole day to earn your money. No, hard work means knowing how to make that dollar work for your dollar, work for
Yes.
you, right?
Let me put you
So why
another.
not teach them early, real early?
Okay. Okay. So here's something I got for you, right? And this is the way that I think about it, right? I'm always thinking of when my kids are older, how can I make things easier for them, right? As kids, as young adults, I will teach them how to make their money. I will teach them how to value what they have. I will teach them hard work. I will teach them, the things that they need to know to not make them soft people, right? They are both going to be able to go out into the world and do their part and get their money and get shit done because that's just what we're going to teach them, right? But what if you teach them everything they need to know, right? You teach them everything they need to know, they go out and they get it. And while they're trying to get it and they're doing their good job and they're just there doing what they need to do, and they say, you know what, your dad passed away. You did what you did. He's taught you all you need to know about being successful and being a hard worker. He's left you this. So now you've left a nest egg where they can grow that money and prepare themselves for their family, take care of themselves and their families. Right? You didn't make it easier their whole life because an inheritance doesn't get passed down until typically doesn't get passed down until you pass out, until you're gone, right?
Right.
So the way I see it is, you know what? I'm gonna teach you everything that I can. I'm gonna show you everything that I can. I'm gonna make you a tough person. I'm gonna make you a hard worker. I'm gonna make you value everything that you have, and everything that I've built with that, the example that I set. You're because the kids are gonna benefit from all the hard work you do anyway, right? If you're making money, then you'll be able to provide more, do whatever you want, with your kids if that's what you want to do. But if you set the example of, look, this is the hard work that I put in.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it goes. Where I think more of our job is to educate them so they can get to that level. It's
Yeah,
instead of, I guess what I was trying to say, instead of them waiting, oh, I can't wait for this viejo to die to get these
of
$500,000.
course, of course,
You know, that's what I
of
mean.
course, of course.
Because there's a
Of course.
lot of people like
Oh,
that. A
so
lot.
that's my way of thinking, right? That's the
Yeah.
way that my wife and I think. Like, you know, I'm not thinking of you know, as soon as my kid's 18, here's all this money. Like we have money set aside for them, and we've already talked like, well, how should we do it? Like, should we just wait until she's like 25 when her brain is fully developed and then give her money? Like, like at what point, right? Do we tell her about this money? Like, you don't even have to tell them about this money,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. Teach them white money habits and Mexican values.
Yep.
Um, I think that's the difference, right? Of course, you don't want them to think that you don't want them to be young adults thinking my life is made and I'm gonna end up with all this money anyway, so I'm not gonna have to work. Um, I guess this is where the whole shack. I'm rich. You're not rich. I'm
Right.
rich, right?
Right.
So of course, as they're growing up and they're getting old, you have to teach them to get their own money. And if not, hey, you know what? This isn't yours. I haven't put your name on here yet. I don't know what you were.
Yeah. Not only that, bro. I don't know if you noticed, but one of his kids is a model,
Mm-hmm.
and that kid's already a multimillionaire too,
Yeah.
and
So
he's less famous than the other two that are like basketball stars.
Simon.
You know, so that
So
just
so
comes to tell you that sometimes they don't even need our money. You know.
yeah. So I think that's the next thing I'm thinking, right? Like what my boy Paul here is saying, teach them white money habits and Mexican values is the way I'm thinking about it is what can I do to generate some sort of generational wealth,
It's
right?
called life insurance, bro.
Life insurance ain't shit.
It is.
Why? Why are you gonna wait for that? Is
No,
that the
you
only thing
don't
you're gonna
wait.
do?
No, life, not death insurance.
Yeah.
Life insurance.
See,
It's
wait, but
not
then
waiting till you die. No, 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 no.
I don't know enough about it to tell you about it. I've read it. I saw posts about
It's
things where you
a
can even
bunch of
take
shit
money out
where
and this and
where
that, but then estás endeudando.
no, you're not. You don't pay it back, bro. It's like, for example, remember when we used to get out loans at work and you pay yourself back with interest and shit like that?
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Yeah, you're paying. You still have to pay it back.
Yourself, yourself,
Yeah, you're still paying yourself
yourself
back.
with interest. So you're
Yeah.
making money off of that money.
Yeah, but you're still paying. You still have to
It's
put that money
recycled
back.
money. It's
Yeah,
recycled. That's how they
but
do it, bro.
but you still have to put the money back. That's what I'm trying to say.
They do
Somebody
it.
has to put the
That's what
money
I'm
back.
telling you.
Yeah. So
That's
so
how they do it.
so so why not build another way where you don't have to pay it back. You're just making it work. Thank you for joining, Steve. Young
Yeah, no,
adults in
of
division
course,
portray left us.
of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, and that's gonna be a topic for another day, right? Um, Talking about social media portraying a certain lifestyle that can be deceiving. Yeah, that's definitely a topic for another day. But like I was saying, like the way that I'm thinking is build something that obviously is gonna be able to keep growing and keep giving, that you can pass down and that they can pass down, right? That's the way I'm thinking about it, right? Because thinking about my kids and my grandkids, my knock on wood, my future grandkids, assuming I get to be old enough to do that. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the way I was thinking of
I
when you
would want
mentioned
to know.
inheritance.
I would want to know as and obviously I probably won't get that answer ever. But like for example, the big ones like Ford, the people that the guy Ford, Chevrolet, and all that. If when they made the Harley and all that, when they made their millions and they made their generational wealth, obviously, were they thinking about their family, their grandkids? You know what I mean? And their
I don't
great
know, man.
grandkids.
I feel like they were probably just
Like,
very
are
ambitious.
we worried too much about the next generation
Well,
that it doesn't really matter because by the time you get to that point, it's not really you have anything to say.
yeah, but I think the way I think those individuals were kind of living their life and doing what they were doing, and obviously I'm only speculating, right? I don't know enough about any of them. I haven't read any autobiographies or anything, but um, like they were just so ambitious that they got very successful to where that wealth just happened, and it just happened to get carried over to the family, um, and and it became more of a legacy than taking care of the family. Like, I want my name to live on, and you guys are gonna have to carry it for me, right? They got so ambitious with what they wanted to do and their success that it carried into, you know, taking care of the family. But I will say this, and this is what I think now that I'm talking about it. At the time, they were making all this money. They weren't thinking, I'm going to make my kids soft. I'm going to just take care of the family. I'm the breadwinner. That's it. Right?
I don't
There
know.
was,
I don't
I don't
know
know.
if that
I'm
was
assuming,
if that
yeah.
was the thinking.
Right? It's not like, it's,
What I'm assuming from everything that I've seen, watched, or whatever, read, a lot of were more on the what you were talking about before about making their name a legacy, more about me, and I created this, and I made this, and I'm worth this, and I'm bigger than you, and blah blah blah. Right now, obviously, that goes down to the children, and then the children's children, and children, and I think that's where where say if something like that happens to me and I teach Adrian, you know what, I want you to continue the name, I want you to continue with the brand, blah blah blah.
yeah,
I want you to make me proud, make our family proud, and continue or whatever, you know, the last name it being bigger than what it is.
of course.
I think that's where more of the teaching going and being proud, more than anything, being proud of who created what is actually feeding or gonna feed generations upon generations. You know,
Yeah.
I
No, I
think that's the
agree.
most part. And it's hard, man. It's really it's hard. I honestly on that part, dude, I feel a lot of pressure. I feel a lot of pressure because I don't wanna leave my kids in the position that my siblings and I were left.
Yeah.
Right, but not because nothing was left monetarily, but more because we were not prepared.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
we
not
never
that.
spoke about it. We never spoke about it.
Yeah. I think
Details were never given. Nothing. You know, and it's like left out it's like they left us in the middle of the desert with nothing, bro.
yeah. I think these conversations of death, to be blunt, um uh they don't happen,
Yeah, until
um
an example happens.
yeah, until something happens, right? Which is sucks, but it is what it is. um we should be having or thinking about, I'm not here to give insurance, information or direction for insurance or anything like that,
Yeah,
but I think that they're conversations that are good to have because, like you said, I don't want to leave. Like Steve said, he doesn't want to leave any debt to his kids, right? When he passes away, like, same thing with all of us. We don't want to die and then, leave our kids with burden, right? And so, I think these are conversations that you don't want to have, and just thinking about it while you're looking at your kids, it's like, I don't, like, oh man, I don't want to even picture me being gone. Like, it's hard. It's a hard conversation, but it's one of
yeah,
those conversations that needs to happen, right?
yeah.
It just needs to happen. It needs to happen because, man, you just, again, it's
We can't be afraid of the subject, bro, because it's gonna
yeah,
happen
it's gonna
regardless.
happen, dude. It's
Um, how,
as much as it sucks.
what did happen to us, you know? Um,
Yeah, It's
Sorry, I saw one of the messages. Somebody put a message on our restream.
the front of our faces. Yeah, that's right.
I don't get it.
Well, it's because he's watching us on Instagram,
Oh,
and he sees the side of us, and I told him check out the YouTube. So what's up, Paul?
okay.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining on YouTube. I'm sure we look prettier, more handsomer, and we probably sound a little bit better. So thanks for joining. I know for all those that are still here, Paul is the one that hooked us up with the sweet little Café Tacuba intro.
Oh, okay.
So thank you,
Okay.
thank you, thank you.
Nice to put a
Um,
face on it.
oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, but yes, I think we're talking about inheritance,
And no,
but I
yeah, bro.
think
On my part, just my kid. I'm putting a good. I'm gonna put that expectation one that they don't have to take care of me when I'm older, right?
yeah,
Hopefully, and the expectation is to not expect anything.
of course,
The only thing for them to expect is that I am gonna teach them as much as I know to be prepared for whatever situation comes around, right?
mm-hmm.
Which means as far as credit goes, whatever I've learned through credit, whatever business they can create for themselves, whatever jobs they're trying to get, whatever it is that I can prepare them with life, that's going to be more of my gift to them, so that when they get to that level of when they have to do it, it's their choice, and and
Simon,
and for it not to be like our parents when their parents passed away. What do they fight about? Fucking
los
land,
terrenos, güey.
right? They're
Yep,
always fighting about terrenos this, terrenos that, terrenos this, terrenos that.
yep. But it's because nobody talked about it.
Exactly. No, or it's in the will. It's in the will, but there's no details.
Yeah,
You
they just
know,
leave it. Yeah,
or one of the siblings doesn't agree with the rest of the 10 or 5 or whatever it is. You
yep.
know. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I ain't gonna have shit. You want my stuff? It's whatever's at the house.
Hey, well, you don't know that, Chris. You still got plenty of time, man.
No, I know. No, no,
You
no.
know what I
Por eso
mean?
te digo. I
Yeah,
think I would want to. My gift to my kids again would want to leave them with as much knowledge so that they know how to create their own empire, if that's what I want to call it, right?
yeah,
My dad left me with this. That's one thing. Again, I'm not complaining. I'm not anything. My parents gave me everything they could My parents gave me a good life, bro. We gave my brother a good life, my sister a good life. We had what we wanted at times. Sometimes we had more than other kids. Sometimes we had less than other kids. So be it, right?
yeah,
Um, the most valuable thing that my parents, my father, especially my father, is the knowledge that he left. The things that every time I do something, even beforehand, even before they passed, and now I use it more as a gut feeling. Is if I see him like in my thought, that means don't do it,
yeah,
right? If my gut tells me, it's a good feeling, then obviously I do it. But if I get that feeling where I know that if my dad was alive and he would tell me "qué te dije" or "qué pasó," something like that, then that means no.
yeah,
So, but those are the things that I was left, the knowledge that was left to me by him. That I cherish more. The values that were left. I think those are probably the most important things. If we would have left money, shit, who knows if that money would have been gone already?
yep,
And then what? What am I left with?
yeah. But who knows? Maybe it wouldn't. Because he
No, but
instilled he
what I'm
instilled
trying
good
to
values.
yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that money goes, right? Money goes, and can go in any way, any direction, and goes very very fast.
This is true.
Versus knowledge, value, and now that stays with you and whoever I want to pass it on to,
Yep.
right? Which is my kids and obviously our audience that we have and all that, So I think that's probably the most important thing that I appreciate from them. You know, money would have been fine, but that's momentary.
Simon.
So, at least that's how I feel about it. But yeah, I think the most important I think, is just to give that good education to our kids that we didn't get and prepare them early for whatever situation might come.
Cool. I agree. I think to give you a couple final thoughts here, at least my final thoughts on the topic that you brought up. Um, Obviously, I want to leave an inheritance, and a lot of it comes from my wife ended up with a bit of an inheritance, and I don't want to say that it just made our lives a lot easier, but it allowed us to put
But
ourselves
it
in a better
helped.
position
It
to
helped.
to be able to buy a house, right? To be able to be in a place where we can provide for our kids, right? It's not. I guess in my head, I'm not trying to just erase their problems, but I'm gonna teach my kids to work hard, to figure things out, build their own empire, right? And when the time comes for them to do something, here's a little something to make sure to help you get what you need to get and allow you to keep going and keep doing more.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. One thing is helping them with that first step. Like, I don't know if your dad ever did this, but like with your first car, did your parents help you out with the down payment or anything?
My first
Maybe
car was
not.
$500.
Maybe not by no. I mean your first real car, the Civic.
No, no. My first, what do you mean? My first real car was that Acura, bro.
No, the first car that cost you that you cared about.
Well,
You didn't give a
well,
shit about the Acura.
well, both the Acuras are pretty dope. The first one got
You didn't care
got
about the Acura.
trashed. The black one was
Yeah, you
just
trashed
that
it.
was a no. They crashed me. The first one, the black. You only saw the black one. You never saw the silver one.
What about the last one, the one that you crashed?
The black what?
Yeah.
I didn't crash it. It's
Remember the
just
one day that
done.
I was gonna pick you up?
Oh, but that was like a bumper. That wasn't. That wasn't. It wasn't like a big crash way.
You still crashed. After that, you bought a new car.
Oh no! I bought a new car because the car was done. The engine was shot. It had over 300,000
Well,
miles, bro.
anyways, the point I was trying to make
But
is
yes,
like
my dad helped me with his credit.
when your parents helps you out either with the credit or down payment or whatever, it's that little help that they try to give you so that you can orale caro,
All right, yeah, it's not. It's not solving the whole problem,
No. It's
but
just
it's
a little
putting you
help.
in a position for you to do it and figure the rest out yourself, right? Getting rid of a small obstacle for you to put in the
Yeah.
work. Yeah,
Yep.
and like Paul says, money goes, but the lessons stay. The fact that you guys are doing this is proof you guys have big hearts. Hey man, we're big teddy bears, and I know you are too. I've known you for a good minute, so I know. Este, yeah. So, Chris, any of your final thoughts here on this topic?
No, dude, it was a good one. A little sidetracked by somebody, but
It's all
it
good,
was
man.
a,
It's
it
all
was a
good.
good sidetrack. It was a good sidetrack.
It was a beautiful sidetrack. I'm gonna have to put that in our description tonight for the video. But um, uh, I have a small announcement. So for
You're
our
pregnant.
podcast, we
Oh,
want to provide any of you papas out there that might have a small business. Hey, do you want some free marketing? Do you want a little bit of some free promotion for your business? Send us a message. What we want to do is do a little bit of a sponsorship program where you essentially say you're going to sponsor us for this week's episode, and we hook you up, we promote your business, and all we ask in return is that you share a post, and that's it. So if you know anybody that has a small business that would love to have some free promotion and is on social media, then Let's get into our DMs, send us a message, share their profiles, we'll reach out, and let's talk. Because at the end of the day, we are looking to help papas out. We're looking to help you guys out. You know, it's it's uh it's like you can easily look at these and say, oh, you only get like 10 people to watch or 10 people to listen. Like, why do you keep doing it? Because, hey, you know what, somebody somewhere is going to benefit from whatever we're talking about. And if we can help one person out one day, or identify with one person while they're going at work, you never know, right? And obviously
It's word of mouth.
we're geared towards papas, but obviously, we are able to identify with the mamas out there too. And so, it's just putting good stuff out there, that we don't really see too much of. At least we don't. And we're just trying to
That's
get
it.
more creative on it, and share some of the things, share some of the things that we learned growing up from our fathers, and share it out and put it out in the world with you guys, and have you guys share with us, and we'll put it out there for everybody else too. So, if you know anybody that has small business, I know a couple people, but I put it out there to you guys, put it out into the world. If you guys know somebody with a small business that wants some free marketing, have them hit us up, and we'll promote you. And all you do is share a little post about us, and that's it. So, that's all I got, Chris. Chris, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you guys again. Um, oh, Alejandro has just sent a request to be live.
Oh man, he showed
Who's
up a
that?
little late. It's all right. We'll
Where?
catch him next time. Oh yeah. Well, that's a good one. Well, let's talk. Let's talk right after this. After this live. But thank you, Paul. Thank you, Steve. I know you were on there. Katie, I saw a message from you.
Everybody
Appreciate you
who joined,
guys.
everybody who participated, made us laugh
Yeah.
today. That was a good one.
Yeah. So we'll have further communications. But thank you. Stay tuned for the episode on our Spotify, Google, Apple, and wherever you see your podcast. And we'll talk to you guys next month.
All right, guys. Good night. So I am.